Hello students, today we are going to discuss class 9th economics chapter 3 poverty as a challenge. Poverty, what it means? Poverty means hunger and lack of shelter. And what they have mentioned it has been defined as a situation in which a person fails to earn sufficient income to buy bare means of subsistence. What it means? It means that a person is not in that condition to meet the needs of his or her family. Okay. Now, next, indicators of poverty. The first one is lack of access of safe drinking water. Second, lack of job opportunity. As we are well aware that in unemployment, what we have read in our previous chapter, we have read that a person is willing to work but he is not getting job. After that, lack of access to healthcare. Next one, illiteracy level. So many persons are illiterate, like girl child also. Sanitation. It's a big problem of rural India. Social exclusion. Poverty leads to two problems. Like the first one is social exclusion and second one is vulnerability. What it means? Social exclusion means socially excluded from the society. It is a process where people are excluded from facilities, benefits and opportunities that others enjoy. And the example is the backward categories, right? Next is vulnerability. Vulnerability means poverty is a measure which describes the greater probability of certain communities of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. Underline this, in future also. It is the further analyzed on the basis of the greater risk faced at the time of natural disasters. Natural disasters like earthquake, tsunami, terrorism, or we can say that not it's a natural disaster, like terrorism is also part by these theft by these groups. And who are vulnerable? Vulnerable like the individual I'm talking about, like we can say that the backward categories, as well as we can say that the handicapped person or the women also. Now next is causes of poverty. They can ask you a question, okay, define poverty and write down the causes of poverty. These are the point. At that time you will write down. The first one is a rapid growth of population, particularly among the poor. As we have read that so many problems are interlinked with this poverty, because poverty is a multi-dimensional problem, like landlessness, malnutrition, size of families. And this point is undertaken the size of families, because poor persons are under the vicious cycle. They don't know nothing about the family planning. That's why they have mentioned that poor population is considered a major cause of Indian poverty. Poverty is a consequence as well as cause. So after that, second point is our agriculture sector has failed because it is a labor absorbing sector. So but this sector has failed. Why? To generate much employment opportunities for the farm laborers. Because in this topic we have read that disguised unemployment. And what is disguised unemployment? Like it's a hidden unemployment. What we have read in our previous chapter, we have read that we are having a small plot or a plot of land. On that plot of land, 5 members are working on that. But we are having a requirement of only 3 members. If 2 members are removed from that farm or plot, we can say that production will not decline. Those persons seems to be employed, but they are hidden employed. After that, next is unequal distribution of land. In the first chapter of economics, the story of village Palampur, we have read about what? We have read that land is fixed. Some of the farmers are having huge lands and some of the farmers having small plot of land. So they have mentioned due to which rural poor couldn't improve the way of living. Why? Because they are debt trapped. And what is debt trap? They are not able to pay back the money they have borrowed from the money lenders or the relatives, right? So next one is social factors, lending money for social obligations like festivals and marriage forces the poor into debt. And I have also explained you about the debt. Next is the steps taken by the government for poverty alleviation. What is the main objective of government? The main objective of government is to trigger the poverty. So what we want to overcome from this problem. And the first they have mentioned over here, these are basically programs addressing to the poor, targeting anti-poverty. What they have mentioned? They have mentioned the points. The first one they have mentioned, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. It was launched in 1993. In multiple choice question, they can ask you when Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana was launched. At that time, you will write down in 1993 to create self-employment opportunities. For whom? They have mentioned for educated unemployed. In which areas? In rural areas and small towns also. Okay. Now next, Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. It was launched in 1999. And they are aimed at bringing the assisted poor families above the poverty line. And what is poverty line? Poverty lines, my dear students, poverty line is an imaginary line. It's a benchmark that is fixed by the government and it is estimated by the NSSO. What is NSSO? National Sample Survey Organization. This estimation is done periodically after every 5 years. Now next, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. In short, we can say that Manrega or Narega. They have mentioned this act was passed in 2005. It provides 100 days of employment every year to every rural household in 200 districts. Okay. It was passed in 2005. Next is Rural Employment Generation Program. It was launched in when? 1995 to create self-employment opportunities in rural areas also. Now next, Antodaya Anna Yojana. Its short name is AAY. It was launched for the poorest of the poor and elders. Who are poorest of the poor? Like women, or we can say that the girl child and elders also. After that, next is Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana. It was launched in 2000. The next one is National Food for Work Program. It was launched in 2004. Okay students, thank you very much and have a nice day.